Let's take it straight across to my colleague Rituparna Bhuyan in New Delhi, who has with him the DIPP Secretary Ramesh Abhishek to talk more about the government's FDI push.
Sir, we have opened up several sectors yesterday for FDI. Now, given the fact that we have seen a lot of traction on FDI inflows in FY16, do you then believe that in FY17 we perhaps could better that kind of inflows on FDI?
For last 2 years, we have seen considerable growth in FDI inflows, which is the result of a very liberalized FDI regime, and it shows huge investor confidence. And we are also now rated as #1 FDI destination in the world.
Right.
And with these continuing reforms and continuing improvement of our economy and growth rates, and we are confident that the interest of foreign investors in our country and economy will only increase.
Right. Let me start with some of the finer points of the FDI policy. Let me start with the single brand retail FDI policy. It says that for 3-year period there is a relaxation, and there is a relaxation for 5-year period also. If you can explain to us what is this 3-year and 5-year period relaxation that you are talking about for state-of-the-art technology?
See, now there is a 5-year period during which every single brand retailer has to meet the local sourcing conditions, which an average of 30% over 5-year period.
Right.
This is also reckoned, 5 years are reckoned from the date of opening of the first store.
Yes.
And 1st April of that financial year.
Yes.
So this is a relaxed a local sourcing requirement, because to suit the requirements of business, we have made this policy for all single brand retailers.
Right.
So all we have done now is that those who are certified as having state-of-art or cutting-edge technology, they can be given up to 3 years of relaxation in meeting the local sourcing norms.
Right. So, for state-of-the-art and cutting-edge technology, how do you then, decide that a particular product is state-of-the-art technology? Will there mechanism be set up, or will the administrative ministry decide on this particular issue?
See, we had a view from the Ministry of Finance, and we are in discussion with them to address this matter.
Right. I saw some analyst reports which says that perhaps in Asia we have the most liberal policy regarding airlines for foreign direct investment policy. Now, clearly the decision has been appreciated to allow 100% FDI in airlines, but we have still maintained that scheduled airlines cannot invest in that cap has been maintained at 49%.
Foreign airlines.
Yeah, foreign airlines has been maintained at 49%. If you can explain the rationale of increasing it to 100% for foreign investors, but keeping it at 49% for scheduled airlines.
See, the change that has been made is that one can go beyond 49% for other foreign investors. I think that is really the crucial part. We have a very fast-growing and dynamic civil aviation industry. And we are focused, the government is focused on expanding and growing the infrastructure of the economy, so that there is a strong base for a high growth rate.
Right.
So airlines being a very critical sector, we thought that additional infusion of capital possibilities by foreign investors will help this sector.
Right. And on defense, sir, you have said that you have taken off that state-of-the-art technology line. We have been told by defense manufacturers that that line was a bit, deterrent for them to invest. So, what is the rationale behind now saying that we'll give access to modern technology? That will be the parameter, or any other technology which, or any other parameter which is put on record. So, if you can explain to us these changes that we have made to the defense FDI policy.
See, the thinking is that first of all, defense is a largely licensed activity. A number of important items of defense manufacturing are licensed. Secondly, those who want to set up manufacturing facilities in the country, they will have to figure out how they are going to sell those manufactured goods.
Right.
In defense, government is the major, perhaps only buyer in defense, except maybe some other export potential is there. So whether a technology is state of art or not is something that the investors should be more concerned about, because they will have to set up the manufacturing facility in the country, and whether they will find a market for those goods or not, it should be mainly their concern. So far as the government is concerned, we want to see more defense manufacturing, and the policies are being continuously streamlined and fine-tuned in such a way that there is a simplicity in understanding. That's why you see that we have also mentioned that it could be for induction of modern technology or for other regions to be recorded.
Right. One other interesting approval was regarding marketing of food products. Some say that it's actually FDI and multi-brand retail of food. You have also said that e-commerce activity will be allowed in that sector. If you can explain the rationale on that, and do you see any back-end infrastructure investments also happening because of this particular announcement?
If you see our retail policy in FDI, anyone who is allowed to have invest in FDI retail, single brand retail or otherwise, they can set up brick and mortar shop as well as they can do e-commerce.
Right.
So that is a general policy for all such retailers. So far as food produced in India and food manufactured in India is concerned, the Honorable Finance Minister had made this announcement in the budget and we have implemented it now.
Right.
The rationale is very clear that we want the produce of India to be marketed properly.
Right.
And we want to give more marketing opportunities because we know that there are huge wastages in fresh foods, fruits and vegetables and all that. And we need to help our farmers because this sector has a huge employment potential.
Right.
This will also help the consumers.
Right.
And by developing a supply chain, as a matter of fact, there will be a lot of employment generation in the economy.
Right. Now, so my last question is, do you expect that once FDI comes in, this will also lead to more private domestic investment cycle getting some traction? Because once FDI comes in, then perhaps Indian domestic industries will also start investing. Is that analysis of the government?
See, the percentage of fresh foods in our country which is processed is in single digit. Whereas it is 70% to 90% in the many developed countries. I think we need enormous investments in infrastructure, in marketing infrastructure, and cold chain infrastructure. In the entire supply chain, we need enormous improvement in infrastructure and management.
Right.
And we have not seen that happening too much in the last few decades.
Right.
And I think FDI in this should be of a great help,
Right.
and that is going to help the farmers as well as the consumers in a big way.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for that, Rituparna Bhuyan there.